Good morning, guys. Good morning. Here we are, baby. We made it to Friday. I'm so happy. Got a fresh cut. Ready to go. Dressed for success. Very happy to be with you guys today and continue my story. It's part 5. And I want to share something. We talked about some of the stuff I went through. So if you missed a couple chapters, I've been doing each part per day. So part 1, part 2, part 3, right? So today we're gonna be talking about some of the great decisions that I made while I hit rock bottom, and I was actually incarcerated for 6 months. And when I was in there, I had a lot of room for growth and to get back and tune in back into who I really am. So I did a lot of reading, and I did a lot of personal development, a lot of growth, growing on myself and preparing myself to come out and blow up, do things the right way, make changes, and actually, stop wasting my time and live my best life. So I was in there, and I did a lot of reading and a lot of personal development, as I said. So a few of the things that I decided was that when I came out and I got a job, or I got my job back, hopefully, right? Because it was inserted, I don't know what the hell was going to happen. But when I got my job back, I wasn't going to go back to doing the same things I was doing, or settling for maybe serving and getting all that money and having the freedom, so just work a few hours a day for a lot of money. But in reality, over the years, where's my life going, right? Like, where would I end up with that? I mean, I'm making money, I'm making income, but I'm not doing anything with my skills and things like that. No, one of the beautiful things I like about the service industry is customer service. I learned a lot about customer service. I changed over the years, and as a server, I was able to kind of like get over getting upset or mad at people or dealing with their crap. I just kind of rubbed it off and focus on the money. Great customer service, being fast, getting stuff done, being efficient, being friendly, being known and loved by the customers was huge for me, because that's how I made my tips. But unfortunately, I got into drugs, I got into a great depression, I got into issues with my wife, we got into domestic violence disputes and all this stuff. So all that was just all bad. So I am so glad that I actually got to go to jail and learn this lesson and clean up completely and come with a new mindset, right? So going back a little bit into some of the main, the strongest decisions that I made when I was in there was to be drug free, come out and be drug free. 2, to grow in my job and not stay stagnant, but to get into management and just make the most money possible and invest in myself and my growth, right? And then 3 was to start my own business. So that's what we're going to talk about today, that I made the decision to do my own businesses. So as I got out and I started focusing on getting my job back, assisting to all my programs, being okay with the courts, establishing contact with my wife and my kids again, finding a place to live, getting a vehicle, getting a job back, I started doing all these things little by little. It was a big change in me that I came out with my mindset to confront all my fears, confront all necessities, all tasks, to start creating discipline, is just start getting stuff done. Stop putting things under the rug and confront it, right? So I came out with full force. I got my job back. I actually, like I spoke yesterday, I had to take a little bit of a pay cut, because instead of me coming as a server and maybe making $1,500 every 2 weeks, I was maybe making $800 every 2 weeks or $900 every 2 weeks, right? The most I will cap at $1,000 as a barista. That's not including cash tips, but still, you know what I mean? But, it was a humble start. It was a humble beginning. I started getting the confidence of my leaders back and the stability, started bringing money home. And we started building from the bottom, very little income, that is, very little income, But, I spoke with my leaders and I told them I want to get into management. What do I need to do? What do I need to learn? So they told me what I needed to do, and I was under good hands, so I was able to grow. So luckily I was able to grow eventually, but somewhere in the mix of that, and I think while I was still a barista, I got into trading, and that was actually my first step into a different aspect of the business world and financials. So I began to learn to trade. I opened an account with Robinhood, then I opened an account with Coinbase for crypto. I traded Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. I opened an account with Interactive Brokers. I opened various different accounts with trading. Right, there's different accounts that you can open to trading. Robinhood was the only free one, so I got into it through a friend. He started doing it, and there's zero commissions. But I mean, there's ups and downs to that. There's so many other better platforms to use. I can recommend. If you guys are interested in trading, reach out to me and I'll recommend the best one. I'll just tell you right now, TD Ameritrade to me is the best one, and it's like number one. And if you're trying to be a professional, that is your best bet. But there's so many others. But anyways, I started getting my feet wet. I started doing research. I started following some great financial gurus, some great financial advice of people that help retail traders, the people like you and I that trade from home, how to survive in this game, because it's ruthless. It's really hard. But either you are a trader or you are not. Like, you either love trading or you don't. Like, once you get into it, you discover you love it. So it's not for everyone. That's for sure. It's not for everyone, but once you get into it, it's a big game of discipline, of emotional control, mental stability, psychology is involved 100%. It's like, you learn all the basics and the technicalities and how to read the charts, how to chart out all your things, and how to understand the basics of trading and all the how do you say it, all the tools that you can use for it, but the software and all that good stuff. But in the end, really what it comes down to, that when you're on trading already live and you're trading, what it comes down to is psychological, right? So I can do another video and get into that. I'm probably get back into that. I still trade. I trade, and I invest. So I love doing that. That's just kind of like a passion of mine. So alongside other businesses that I have right now, that's one thing that I do and I love doing. So one of the greatest decisions I made back in 2015 was that when I was going to get out, I was going to start my own business. So that was my first feet getting wet into me making some income. Making some passive income, making some residual income where I can be at work, I can be somewhere else, or I can be on vacation, and my stocks are making money depending on how I'm able to invest, how well I'm able to make the buys and when to sell, and all those little aspects that it makes no sense if I talk about them right now, because it will just be how do you call it? It won't make any sense to you. Jargon or whatever, it's just going to be technical terms that are meaningless to you. But the point is that the best you're able to trade, the better you get at it, the more money you can make, and it's a patience game. It's a long-term success game. It's not about becoming rich in one day, although you can get very lucky, especially during turmoils and issues in the world, like the pandemic and things like that. It's a great opportunity for you to buy the market when it's low, when it tanks. And look at it now. It's growing in exponential ways. It continues to grow up and up and up and up and up. So there's a lot of things. So what I would recommend if you're into trading, if you want to get into it, is to study as much as you can, get a demo account, get better at it, get the hang of it, and then start trading live. The money you put in, just forget about it completely. Don't expect for you to cash out and things like that. These are a part of your savings, only a small part of your income that you're putting in order for you to start doing that. So that's money that you need to say goodbye to. That's one of the things that I can advise you. Another thing I can advise you is to remember that it's not about the best software or how well you learn all the technicalities and the methods of trading and how to read, and what I forget completely how to explain it in a way, but it's not about all the technicalities, all the technical ability or knowing how to trade in that way. It's mostly about, honestly, the psychological aspect. That's going to dictate big time if you're going to be able to be successful. Because what happens when your stock is going down or whatever you bought is going down, one of the main pressures that you may have, one of the things that come to mind is actually selling that stock. That's what you're gonna want to do when you're losing. So it's very painful and in a psychological way to see your stock losing. So what you need to do then is two options. One, you stick it out and you don't sell, okay, because it's gonna go back up, unless it's a company that's going out of business, right? Or you just made a really bad investment. Either one, you stick it out. But most importantly too, the thing that you can do is that you don't put all your money in one. You always have cash available in there to buy. So what happens is that when the stock goes down, you're able to purchase, and that increases your ability, your average. It levels you out. So whatever it is that you lost, you purchase more at lower price. So that changes your average price that you bought the stock for, So you bought it at a better price, technically speaking. So that's just some ways, So there's different things, too much to talk about, but I just want to put it out there that that's one of the best decisions. So that's what I first got into, and I talked a lot about that. So I'm gonna end it at that, and I can go in on the next story and talk to you guys about my next business venture that I got into. That's probably gonna lead into a conversations of what am I doing nowadays, right? But after trading and after getting into that, I did start my first network marketing business. And I'll talk to you guys about that next time. Peace.